Morning, everyone. Happy Tuesday. Today we are going to talk about literal equations. Literal equations are like basically if I have an equation with maybe several different variables. And what I want to do instead of actually finding like what does x equal, for example, instead of that, I want to resolve this equation for maybe one of the other variables. Okay? So gonna go through a couple of them with you guys, and then, like always, you got some practice. If you guys have any questions, make sure that you're emailing and sending reminds so that I can help you guys out. So we're gonna start with this one. It says that the interest equals the principal times the rate times time. Okay? And these could literally be anything, but they are all going to be real equations because I'm going to take them from your book. And so, let's say, obviously this time it's solved for interest. So I can find the interest of something if I know the principal amount, the interest rate, and the time that it's in there for. But let's say I wanted to solve it for time. So my goal now is to get t by itself. And this is going to work for whatever you want to solve. Right? If you wanted to get r, you want to solve for r, then you get r by itself. If you want to solve for p, you get p by itself. But this time I just chose t. So I'm going to look at t, and we're basically going to solve it like that was our x, and we know this other stuff. So it looks like for this one, I have two numbers that I'm multiplying by t. So if I want to get t by itself, I'm going to need to divide by these two numbers, p and r. Because we know that that's the inverse operation, our p's will cancel out, and our r's will also cancel out, and that's going to leave me with just t, which is what I want. However, remember, whenever we do to one side of the equation, we have to do to the other. So if I divide by PR over here, I have to divide this side by PR. And you're probably sitting here thinking, I have no idea what I over PR is. That's probably true. But this is basically for us to use if we have some stuff to plug in. Remember, we're not trying to solve it. We just want to rewrite it with something else on the equal side. So all we're going to do is leave it as that fraction, I over PR. So if I take the interest, if I take the interest divided by the principal and the interest rate, it's going to tell me how much time this thing was going for. And there you go. That's all we got to do. Once you have your goal by itself, so in this case it's t, then we are done and we did exactly what we need to do. Okay? So that's the first one. I want to show you just a couple of these, and then they're just really good ones to practice, so I will definitely give you some homework to do, obviously. All right, let's say let's do a fun one, because, oh yeah, that one's different. So the perimeter of something is 2 times the length plus 2 times the width. But I want to solve it for width. Okay, I want to get W by itself. So my goal here is for W, I want to get it by itself. And you don't have to write that every time. I'm just trying to show you that's now my new goal. I want to get W all alone, right? So here's my W. I'm going to treat it like it's like any other equation we've been solving. If that's true, I would always get rid of whatever I add or subtract. So I want to get rid of 2L. I'm adding that to W. So I'm going to subtract 2L from both sides. Over here, they're going to cancel out. Over here, again, don't stress out. What's P minus 2L? We're just going to leave it. P minus 2L. And we know that equals 2W. If you don't know, leave it. So P and 2L not like terms, we're just going to leave it like that. Cool. And then W is almost by itself, but we got to get rid of this 2. That's multiplication. So to undo it, we need division. So I'm going to divide by 2. And be careful, when you divide over here, you got to divide everything by 2. And again, I'm not going to actually do any of that math. I'm just going to leave it. So W is by itself, and it's going to equal P minus 2L all over 2. And we did our job. We got W by itself. And now if they wanted me to plug in the perimeter and the length or something, I could solve it. Or I can just leave in an equation like that. Not bad. Hopefully you're thinking not bad. So for example, in this one it says, solve it for if P is 144 and L is 40. Well, you're probably thinking to yourself, you probably could have done that from the beginning. That's absolutely true, you could. But this is an important skill to be able to rewrite something in terms of another variable. So if you've never done this before, this is important. But you can just plug this in. So it'd be 144 minus 2 times 40, all divided by 2. So 2 times 40 is 80. 144 minus 80, I don't know, 64 divided by 2. So W must be 32. So again, I'm not so worried about that part. I think you guys can all do that math. But just the being able to rewrite part is very important for everything we're going to do in algebra this year. All right. I think I want to give you the most famous one of these. And that is the temperature conversion between Celsius and Fahrenheit. I feel like anytime I've ever been in the classroom and they taught this, this is the go-to formula here. Celsius equals 5/9 times Fahrenheit minus 32. So if you want to convert a temperature from Fahrenheit to Celsius, this is the formula. That's always a weird one. I always feel like I almost have it memorized and then I forget which, part to do where, but okay. So it's obviously solved for Celsius. Let's solve it for Fahrenheit. So the first thing I notice is this F is inside these parentheses. It's locked. It's in jail up in here. So I need to do something to get rid of that. So you have a choice. You could distribute 5/9, which could work. Might make it a little messy, but that could work. Or we could just get rid of it right now. Because how is 5/9 connected to this rest of the stuff? That's multiplication. So I could divide by 5/9. Or the better way to think of that is multiply by the reciprocal. Because those would cancel, those would cancel. And then I just have to multiply by the reciprocal over here. That would give me 9/5 C equals F minus 32. And now I don't need the parentheses anymore because we got rid of the number that was out in front of them. So if you want to distribute, feel free. You're just going to do more work than you need to. This is the exact same thing. And then if I want to get rid of minus 32, obviously, we're going to add 32. And there you go. We got F by itself. And over here, that would give me 9/5 C plus 32. So there's the equation. Now it's solved for Fahrenheit. I got a little glare going there, don't I? And so 9/5 C plus 32. Yeah, so basically what you're going to do on your problems is the same idea. They kind of give you some made-up equations and stuff. And all you're going to do is kind of rewrite those to solve for a different variable. So it's just really good practice with solving steps, inverse operations, stuff like that, so that you can get used to what we're going to need to do for all the algebra we have to do this year. All right, cool. I think that's all I'm going to do, just those three. And yeah, you guys have a great day. We'll see you later.